So a question that I get all the time is, when should I see my OSO? And this is my answer to that question is, see your OSO as soon as possible. So why am I telling you that? Well, you got to consider a couple things. So let's talk about the OCC program. There's 3 classes a year for the OCC program. OCC means you're a college graduate or in your final year of college. There's 3 classes a year, but there's also a selection board that's attached to each class, right? So if you're looking for, let's take for example the summer class, leaves in June, selection board's in April. So when do I talk to my OSO? Well, obviously I want to talk to him as soon as possible. Why? Because you have an application you have to go through. He's going to lay out what he needs you to do as far as your physical fitness, see where you need to be at, and that takes months. Sometimes it takes months to get all these things completed. So as far as you, when to talk to your OSO, do it as soon as possible. And here's the other reason. What if you have waivers? What if you have things that come up? What if you don't get medically qualified on the first time that you go to MEMS? The beauty about it, that the officer side is a little bit different than the enlisted side, is that you can actually start the process with no obligation. In reality, the obligation for you should start whenever that selection board takes place and you tell your OSO that you are prepared to go to Officer Candidate School. So as far as you getting involved with the process, do it as soon as possible. For the platoon leaders class, almost the same thing. There's 4 boards a year. Each region and district varies. But for example, for my district, we have a board that just happened in October. The next board's in December. The next board's in, I want to say, January, and the final board's in April. So as far as when you should talk to your OSO, again, do it as soon as possible, because there's a lot of things that he needs you to get done for the POC board. Now, here's probably the most important reason as to why you should talk to your OSO sooner than to wait, is even if you have to wait the maximum amount of time, even if you have to wait, let's say, a year, that can be a benefit to you in the sense that now your OSO knows you for that period of time, which should be longer than most. And when it comes to you getting ranked and you getting put up for a selection board, at least for me, usually the candidates that I've had longest in my program, I usually rank them better, as long as they're performing to that standards. But usually the candidates have been around for a long time. It shows your commitment. Usually your level of fitness will be higher than most. So for whatever program you're doing, POC or OCC, worst case scenario, if you have to wait or you have to get pushed, now in your OSO's eyes, you're kind of looked at a little bit higher than your peers just because you've been part of the program. Again, I say usually because if you're just an average candidate that's not improving, then you're just going to fall kind of in the middle of the pack. But again, just based off of my experience and candidates that have been around me for a long time, perform at a higher level than those that don't. So if I was you and you're thinking, should I go see my OSO? Should I not? Again, go see him. There's no obligation. You're not going to sign anything. And in reality, you'll be doing yourself a favor, because now you can check what you need to apply for, what you need to do in order to get your application started and whatnot. Again, if you have any questions, hit me up and just hit me up in the comments section. I'll answer those questions for you. Thanks.